Village Board meeting for Monday, May 4th, 2026. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Lapijanis?
Here.
Trustee Andalay?
Here.
Trustee Wilbur?
Here.
Trustee Price?
Here.
Trustee Eska?
Here.
Trustee Wilbrandt, could you please lead us in the pledge?
Should everybody please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve the agenda as drafted.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion, I believe, from Trustee Eska. We'll take a second from Trustee Johnson. I think
Okay.
he was in the first round. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We move on to President's Report. So item A is a retirement of Deputy Police Chief Dan Haynes. So one of the things we were going to do tonight is give Deputy Chief Haynes his key to the village, which we accomplished on Friday at your luncheon, which was lovely. So thank you for your lovely note today, too. We appreciate it very much. It is strange to see you in civilian clothes, so it's thrown me off a little bit. I know you're getting sick of coming to these board meetings, because this is now 2 meetings in a row, but we wanted to take one final opportunity to just thank you for your service and for everything you invested and everything your family invested in West Dundee. So we give him a round of applause. Thank you. Moving on to promotions. So Chief, I'm going to yield the floor to you.
Could I just have a couple more minutes?
Oh, yeah.
with Dan while we still have him?
Of course, I'm sorry, I should have asked.
Dan, if you don't mind coming up here. Well, most of us have probably never seen you dressed so nicely, so that's impressive. Clean up nice, right? So, over the last couple of weeks especially, it's been painfully obvious how difficult it is to try to summarize a 30-plus year career in some bullet points anyway, as it is, but especially for somebody like this. So, I thought of trying to do something today to really kind of do what couldn't be done Friday, but I just don't think it can be done. Dan is literally big shoes to fill, but also just truly, we're going to miss you very much. Nobody more than me, because you've been just beyond invaluable for me. And I've said it before, I like to say this in front of other people to make sure everyone hears it. I'm counting on you to keep your promise and answer my phone calls. But a quick thing here, we have been working on an awards ceremony, and as you all know, we've had a lot of plate spinning, and it's been pushed back a little bit. So we have a few belated awards to get caught up for a bunch of people, and not surprisingly, I'm sure Dan has a few on the stack here. So number 1 out of the gate is a unit citation. Dan took command, if you all remember, a pretty hairy call at extended stay. Shortly before I started here, it was about a month later, and Dan took command. He was on scene, and it was one of those situations where I showed up, everything was humming, everything was moving along perfectly, and I checked in with him. He already has a command post set up. Do you need anything? No, I think we're good. So then I got to go asking people like, hey, do you need some water? Do you need your car moved? Things like that, because he had it under control. So this is a unit citation for your leadership through the extended stay call November 24th. The second one here is a letter of appreciation for Dan secured a $10,000 grant summer of last year, and we finally got the money for it a couple months ago after they mentioned at last week's, or 2 weeks ago, board meeting, as quite the going away gift to the village, Dan secured a $125,000 grant from the state of Illinois for the village of West Dundee. It covers 2 full years of payments for our body worn cameras. So $125,000 grant. The bar is it's on order. It should be here anytime now. But this is a meritorious service bar award. And last but not least, this is my very pathetic attempt to try to summarize your amazing career. Thanks very much, sir. Appreciate it very much. Okay,
Yep.
so for the promotions, big shoes to fill, so big that it takes 2 people to fill them right now. So we're promoting 2 people to the rank of commander tonight. First is Kyle Feisick, and second is James Breon. So Kyle, 22 years coming up on 22 years of service with West Dundee PD. He's been a sergeant for 9 years. Somewhat of a highlight of his extracurriculars, if you will. He was a member of the Kane County Major Crimes Task Force, member of the Kane County SWAT team. He was part of the Officer Involved Death Task Force. He was part of the ILEAS Special Response Team and the Weapons of Mass Destruction Response Team. Kyle has been a detective. He was a 2-term union president, correct? Or union president and treasurer.
Treasurer the first term, president the second.
Kyle is a graduate of the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command. It's a 10-week intensive executive management leadership course. He has a bachelor's degree in management from Benedictine University, and certainly not least but last, Kyle is a United States Air Force veteran. So, the village clerk wouldn't mind, she's going to read you your oath, and then if you wouldn't mind introducing.
I, Kyle Feisick, do solemnly swear. I will support the Constitution of the United States. I will faithfully discharge the duties of position of police commander, the village of West Dundee, according to the best of my ability.
Yes, how thing is temporary and bad enough.
Nice.
Almost there. I had my daughter Lila. She's the reason I do this job every single day. Most of you with families are probably the same. And then my wife Amy was the one clasping it for me because she's there with me every single day during the grind. So thank you to you both. Thank you to my mom for being here, and my brothers and sisters in blue, my brothers and sisters in red, the trustees, the chief of police, everybody that served with me and before me. I vow to do this for you at the very best of my abilities.
shake your hand.
Thank you.
Head on a swivel.
Congrats, thank you. Mayor, thank you. Congratulations. Congrats, Commander.
Congratulations again.
Congratulations, thank you.
Okay, and next up is Jim Breon. He has almost 23 years of service with West Dundee. Now that Deputy Chief Haynes is officially retired, he is now the longest serving supervisor in the West Dundee Police Department. He's been a sergeant since 2015. Jim, significant participation in traffic and investigative roles, including Kane County Accident Reconstruction Team, where he ended up serving as a commander there. He was a founding member of our Special Operations Division that we just started up last year. He has experience in investigations, the SRO program, quality of life initiatives. He will be overseeing the Special Operations Division. I failed to mention Kyle will be overseeing the Patrol Division. And Jim is also a graduate of the Northwestern School of Police Staff and Command. And for some reason, he has a degree in fire science from So Jim, welcome aboard, and you're swearing in here.
James Breon, do solemnly swear
I, Breon, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State
the Constitution of the State of Illinois, merge the duties
of the position
of the West Dundee
of Northwest Virginia.
Thank you also of my wife Shannon and my dad John, my son Max, my daughter Sarah's in college. My dad and my mom Spaney and yeah, Kyle's comments with all of you in the back that sometime on your busy schedule to be here. Those for leaving me for 12 years.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Commander.
Congratulations again.
So my understanding is that there is, Chief, there's an event over at Village Squire. Okay. So we will pause momentarily to let folks who are not here for the rest of the board meeting depart. So take your time, but we'll give you a chance to go. You're not going to hurt our feelings.
Cold beer or listening to a board meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that one of those 6
Just need some music for the interlude.
I think he was still delayed. I think he was still delayed.
Yeah,
I'll grab it, thank you.
they were pushing, they tried to get it early, and they didn't
Yeah.
get it back to original time. They may not get it in.
You're on a heater.
Yeah, I know, I don't want him to stop. Yeah.
LA.
Just give me a start. Okay. I think we're going to get started again. Before I yield the floor, I just wanted to thank Trustee Wilbrandt for his work on the Quadcom board. You now have a lot of responsibility at a very tumultuous time, and I appreciate you taking that on. It's not easy.
Thanks, yeah, lot to do.
Yeah. All right. That being said, let's move on to reports and questions from trustees and working groups, starting with Trustee Anderley.
I have none.
Okay, Trustee Alapajanis.
Nothing.
Trustee Johnson.
The only thing, if we can get the street sweeper out for all those rocks, they're kind of, where they patch the holes, they've kind of spread all over the streets.
We'll see what we can do.
See what you can do there, because it's for like runners, bikers, stuff like that, they slide all over the place.
They are working on the patches, so that should be minimized once they are completed, but we'll do what we can.
Okay.
Anything else, Trustee
No,
Johnson?
that's it.
Okay. Trustee Yeska.
I have nothing.
Trustee Price.
Just the agenda.
Trustee Wilbraham. Okay. Joe, anything from the team?
I just want to shout out to both the Public Works Department and the Fire Department, both Friday, Public Works for a number of days in a row, but Fire Department was in assistance on both Friday and today in terms of helping with the Riverwalk cleanup. I think we're basically about 85 to 90% open for the most part. We got a few smaller sections that are still underwater, but for the most part, it's all appearances. You couldn't tell that we were underwater by about 3 feet a week ago. So,
Great. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to questions from the audience. We don't have one anymore, so I will move on to consent agenda items A through D. I will read each. Item A is ratification of payments for $138,320.93. Approval of the bill list for $484,651.11. Approval of minutes for the regular board meeting for April 6, 2026. And item D, special event request, Dundee Middle School Stay Gold Cruise-In event on the 16th of May, 2026. Is there any desire by any board member to remove any of the items from tonight's consent agenda? Seeing no changes suggested, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through D.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second by Trustee Johnson. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Yeska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Lapajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Anderley?
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt?
Aye.
Trustee Price?
All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances. Item A, 70 Airport Road, ordinance approving an automotive services special use to allow a self-serve truck wash and a truck repair and maintenance facility. Trustee Price.
Yes, at earlier meeting, we went through a process under the SD to include this type of service as part of the vehicle service, and then this went before planning and zoning to allow it specifically because it's a special use, so to allow that at this site. And it was approved unanimously by the planning and zoning. Makes sense, there's a lot of trucks parked there, and from what I understand, it's, what they say, like 85% occupied or something like it was. Yeah, it was really high. So that's great, and it's good to, provide service for them so they can wash their vehicles, get them maintained, and that sort of thing, so.
So the lot is 90% full?
Good for her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed it. Yeah.
That's without the sign.
That's right. Yeah, just wait till the sign shows up.
So they know
Maybe
how
we
to
didn't
find
need
it
the
now,
sign.
right?
Okay.
All right, move to recommend to the village, let's see, that was planning and zoning. Sorry. There is a motion here somewhere. You move to recommend to the village board, this is still planning and zoning thing,
Page
but
42 of
Yeah, it just,
Oh, it is 42. So I think that maybe the wording is just off. So move to approve automotive services special use permit for Big Rig slash Propco LLC to allow a self-serve truck wash and a truck repair and maintenance facility at 70 Airport Road pursuant to section 1075-2 zoning regulations, SD Development District Retail Center Use Regulations, with the following conditions: compliance with documents as submitted to planning and zoning, and compliance with all other applicable village codes and ordinances.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second by trustee Huska. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Price?
Aye.
Trustee Huska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Lapajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Anderly?
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrand?
Ayes, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to unfinished business. Item A, Elgin Area Convention and Visitors Bureau payment. Trustee Anderson.
Well, I was going to ask that this be tabled since we didn't give Chrissy Lee any notice. I wanted her to be here to present to the board. But you kind of blew through that portion of the program, so.
What,
I mean, we sent her a copy of the memo, but whatever the
But it
board's
didn't
prerogative.
have any context to it. So I didn't know until Friday night that it was even on the agenda. So I called her. She had
oh, but
previous
that's okay. I
engagement.
think there's support for it.
It's a board prerogative.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you guys want to hear what she has to say? Do you want to know what they do?
No, I mean, absolutely. But I mean, I don't think, but I think we're willing to give her the extra money.
Okay.
Absent
Okay.
that, I haven't heard from many board members who are opposed to it.
Yeah, they do a lot for us, I think it's.
Well, my question is, based on the memos that I read, there was one that said had set a cap at 10,000 at one point. I could see going to that, but I know you.
Nothing more than the 10.
Not at this
right.
point.
Yeah.
I don't want, that's a big jump. That's almost double.
Going to the 10 where you wanted to land.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you care to make that motion?
Where is it?
It's just a motion to provide Elgin Area and Visitors and Convention Bureau a payment of $10,000 for this year's contribution.
Hey,
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Price. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Anderly?
hi.
Trustee Wilbrand?
Aye.
Trustee Price?
Aye.
Trustee Huska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Lapajanis?
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. So trustee Enderly will rely on you to give her the good news, please.
I'll give her the good news.
And if Chrissy Lee wants to come in and make a presentation, just let me know and we can put her on a future agenda.
Perfect.
And Joe, thank you for getting this on the agenda.
They would love to come and talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
I'm curious what,
Thank you all.
because I don't know what they do, so I'm kind of curious to hear about it.
Moving on to new business, item A, Spring Hill Mall Infrastructure Preliminary Study, Professional Services, Baxter and Woodman. Trustee Huska.
In order to prepare us for the future, I think we need to examine the past of where, well, like I say, if you did an overlay of all three of those diagrams you showed, it is a spider web of where all the infrastructure, sewer and water is, because everything was centered on providing for the mall. And the mall is no longer there, and whatever development plans we have and where there will be roads, we need to study. And because we have had, again, an issue today with our pipes, that there is a lot of stuff that probably needs to be replaced and cannot be used, but we need to study that and know where that's going, and what we need to do and where to move things to moving forward.
Yeah, this is really to basically take, as trustee Wilbrand, or trustee Huska pointed out, the spider web and the central feature and turn it into more of a linear system, more of a grid approach with the roadway ultimate configuration, and then identifying the sizing as well as the placement of both water, storm, and sanitary as it relates to the future improvements and the current connections. Obviously, the connections at entrance A and entrance B feeding into Old Town are the primary connection points in terms of how water comes in and wastewater goes out. And we need to kind of be able to have that designed, sized, and configured in order to facilitate future redevelopment. So the hope is that we put together both the conceptual engineering for Public Safety 3 and the layout for water, sewer, and sanitary, and have a comprehensive, have these dovetailed together, so we're moving forward in concert with a formal plan on all of these items coming together.
When are we gonna see like, so this is like the first step, right? One of the first steps that are necessary in order for us to do it, right? When are we gonna see some sort of conceptual design?
For the development?
Yeah, for the development.
Yeah, so I had actually sent email on that, because they have to go hand in hand. And so one of the things for me was that if we, make sure Tim's involved in this, just in terms of making sure we've got some consistency with the road network and leave maximum flexibility, and I guess I'd like to be a little involved too, again, from the planning side. And so, and it seems like it would be sort of a phased approach. We'd get like the biggest mains in probably, although the study will tell us this.
Correct.
But then leave flexibility for where the actual roads, particularly in the interior network of roads actually goes in. So get the largest, trunk mains in and sized.
Right, but I think
So-
what you have is, from a presentation standpoint, what you have on the last page is the backbone and the skeleton.
Right,
That
I
is-
understand that, yeah.
This is basically the backbone and the skeleton. Director Scott is continuing to work with Housel Levine. We do expect that the visioning project will be coming to a close in the next 30 days and will be on a future agenda for presentation, which will have more of the skin and bones of the presentation on the visual.
Okay, so like 30 days, we should start seeing some things. And then public input, are we getting any public input, or are we just?
Well, again, I think this study is just for the infrastructure, so I'm guessing wouldn't be so much in the public input,
No,
but
not
in
this-
terms of
not
the
this, yeah.
actual
Yeah,
development. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
once it's presented to the board, it's up to the board how we want to do, facilitate additional public comment, facilitate the discussion and public input into that.
right, yeah, I know this stuff this is a necessary step, so we gotta do it.
Yeah, and I mean, not only just because, you can't have water main and sanitary sewer running like under building, things like that, so definitely things have to move, but also just the issues with water that we've been having with, all the pipes corroding, and I think Spring Hill Mall properties where we've had the most, right?
Right.
So,
But just recognize, we also need to do the analysis, because as part of the conceptual plan, we're talking about 1,500 units and 300,000 square feet of commercial as part of the skin and bones for this development. So what does that look like in terms of utility capacity? Is it 10-inch water mains? Is it 12-inch water mains? Does the detention pond need to be increased by 4 acre feet, 5 acre feet? What does that look like? Those are the type of questions that this analysis is going to give us and give us in that broad context, so we can kind of start planning for the future.
A lot of it's predicated on actually where the building's gonna go too, right?
Well, the utilities are going to mirror the roadway, right? When the roadways are part of the critical infrastructure. Your water mains and sanitary sewer are going to be on either side or underneath the roadway configuration. But once again, where do those hook up? Because of, sending sanitary sewer from Spring Hill Mall all the way down to the 3rd Street lift station. So what does that look like, and what is that size? So that's kind of the analysis that this proposal will provide for us, and as well as the sizing. So it's kind of what we're taking is that spider web, figuring out where the critical linkages are, where we have to be, and then facilitating infrastructure development off of those.
and then, yes, and so we have all that, and then, but in terms of, and again, that's next step. First, we do the analysis, but in terms of like installing the infrastructure, that would happen when the roads get installed.
Right, but as we,
Right.
as.
So I guess all I was going with that is I suspect that the locations would be fairly similar to what's in this graphic, but, you know, the final road location will dictate where the actual lines go.
Right,
So,
and,
and, you know,
and
if the
vice
road
versa.
shifts a little bit this way or that way, I mean, that's not gonna change sizes or anything like that, so it's population driven mostly. Yeah, this is great.
Trustee Huska, you have the floor.
I move to authorize to enter into a professional services agreement with Baxter and Woodman for the Spring Hill Mall infrastructure redevelopment study in an amount not to exceed $88,240. Guess that's
Okay.
I mean, there was more there, but I don't think we need
That was
that.
good enough. Motion,
Second.
second by trustee Price. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Huska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Lapijanus?
Aye.
Trustee Andrew?
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt?
Aye.
Trustee Price?
Aye.
All last motion carries. Last item, item B, purchase of 2 Ford Mavericks for community development. Just note there was an email that came out this afternoon noting that the Maverick pricing has gone up a little bit for each vehicle.
That was for the additional options.
Okay.
So the base is the same, right?
The base XL model is still the same price. It was just looking at adding the remote start, the heated mirrors, the other package. Initially, we thought the package was $1,890, but in order to be available to get that package, you had to upgrade the trim from XL to XLT, which was an additional $1,200.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So I just had a couple of thoughts on this when I kind of first read it. And one is, you know, should be doing used instead of new. I think you made a pretty good case why new really does make sense. Also, the upgrades, I think, to the degree that these vehicles are stored outside and gets you guys on the road quicker rather than spending a lot of time scraping windows and all that sort of stuff. I think it's probably a good investment and, you know, makes you more comfortable too. So that's kind of a co-benefit. And then my only question was, and we talked briefly before the meeting, is, you know, should we, for our newer vehicles, particularly ones that are just sort of driven around town, should we start looking at, you know, EVs, electric vehicles? And so my first question, because electric pickup trucks, at least the ones I've seen, are really expensive. And so that probably doesn't make sense. So my first question is, do they need to be pickups or not? And I think, I guess I'll let you answer the question, both pickups or cars versus, and then also, you know, how EVs make sense now or maybe in the future, so.
The pickup part is kind of an added benefit. Ford Maverick is actually the cheapest model that Ford offers, and it just so happens to be a little pickup.
Of any vehicle they offer?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of car manufacturers don't offer smaller vehicles anymore, and the Ford Maverick, think of, you know, the Ford Ranger, just 10, 20 years ago, how it was kind of small and compact. And the utilitarian uses of a pickup really fit. I mean, code enforcement, believe it or not, we pick up a lot of signs up the side of the road. It'd be great to throw those back in there. Shopping carts, sometimes we pick up on the side of the road. In the future, you know, we could look at getting like a cover for the pickup bed. Even going out to the development sites now, we carry decommissioned fighter boots, because it gets so muddy. It's just nice to throw them in the pickup bed instead of inside. So it was just kind of an added bonus to have the utilitarian pickup, and it just so happened to be the cheapest model that Ford offers.
Any other comments or questions?
I just want to comment on trustee Price saying, I think that the upgrades would be a nice to have just because, I mean, we're in Chicago and those vehicles are going to be sitting outside. And there are times when it's not just you in the vehicle. I mean, you do have engineers and developers ride with you on occasion. So it'd be nice to not have to be standing there scraping a window and with the guests.
Start want to get, you know, just the base model, nothing additional, but thinking about it, you know, like I said, the Ford Maverick XL is the most base model you can get, and you talk with like our part-time inspectors, holiday, the dealership got back and, it was $1,200 to go from the lowest XL to just one step up, XLT, and then $1,900 for the package that started years. There's also onboard power, like for a three-prong outlet, if we ever need that, just village-wide. And I did put in the memo, initially with the base model, we do want to look at getting decals on the doors. So we mark, because right now both of our vehicles don't have any, they just have the end plates. So we want to look at, I talked with Chief Spiro, one of their vendors that does decals, to just put, we're looking at white trucks, and then, like the logo behind you guys, just on the door panels. So when we're driving around town, people know it's the village.
That makes sense. Any other comments or questions? Trustee Price?
I move that we authorize the purchase of two 2026 Ford Mavericks. I don't have the total,
It'd be 66,216.
that amount from Kaiser Ford of Madison.
Second.
Motion and a second by trustee Yuska. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Price?
Aye.
Trustee Huska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Pajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Andalou?
Aye.
Trustee Wilbur?
All ayes, motion carries. Thank you. Anything else anyone wishes to discuss tonight? Hearing nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
second by trustee Alapajanis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned.